How NBA players get their jersey number. One of the strangest ways a player got their number is Klay Thompson's, because he didn't even choose his number, it chose him. And the story behind it began with how Klay grew up as a child. Now you might think NBA players choose their jersey numbers randomly, but there are secrets behind how players got them. Like, no player got his number because he was bullied into it. Another player chose a number after the biggest tragedy of his life. Will players be able to change the jersey number? If yes, how can they do it? Are there any players who did this before? Want to know more? Then what are you waiting for? Let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about how NBA players get their jersey number. Klay always believed that these 11s were merely coincidences because he resided in the 11th home on the 11th lane, and that the K in his name is the 11th letter of the alphabet. But all changed in 2011. One by one, the picks trickled in for the 2011 NBA draft. The year Klay's hopes had a chance to come true. The first pick was made. In the 2011 NBA draft, Kyrie Irving was selected with the second pick. The third pick, the fourth pick, the fifth pick, the sixth pick, and the seventh pick, the ninth pick, the 10th pick, and the 11th pick. The Golden State Warriors picked Klay Thompson from Washington State University with the 11th overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft, which is how Klay entered the league. Because the number 11 was so prevalent in his life, he knew right away that what jersey number he would choose. 11. Once he started wearing it, it helped him make history when he scored 60 points in his most famous game on just 11 dribbles. Then, 11 years after he selected the number 11, Klay won a championship. Choosing that number, or the number that put him in, worked out greatly. But John Moran almost got into a fight with an entire nation with the number he chose. Jaws always wore the number 12 and developed into such a star player while doing so in high school and college. But at both institutions, he got the number retired, so he had to carry on his tradition of bringing the number into the NBA. However, on the night Jaws was selected by the Grizzlies as the number 2 pick, he realized there was a problem, because someone on the team not only had his favorite number, but it was also one of the most popular jerseys in the entire NBA. This might seem like just a random player, but he's one of the only Japanese players in the entire league. And Swiss jersey outsold all of the top stars, making it the most popular jersey in the entire country of Japan. Fortunately, he knew Jaw had potential to become a star, so they had a conversation and Jaw admitted first it was just him, even though Jaw wanted Watanabe's number changed because the new kid could upset the entire nation. Jaw admitted first it was just him praising me for everything. Then we got into the number chat, and I just told him that I didn't want to mess anything up, to which he responded, "Oh no, that's okay, and if you want number 12, you can get it so." After that, Chad received his preferred number, which not only enabled him to dominate the NBA, but also allowed him to write posts like this. Some supporters said, "Damn John, that's probably going to cost you." But one player, who else than LaMelo Ball, wanted a jersey number so desperately that it cost him a 6-figure shopping spree. LaMelo has always had a special place in his heart for the number. LaMelo's future teammate, Malik Monk, already had the number 1, and he wasn't going to give it up for anything. So LaMelo was forced to wear a number he'd never worn before. And ironically, it was the exact same number as his brother Lonzo. But Lonzo wasn't really feeling that his brother was copying him. Tola Molol literally had a tattoo of the number 1 on his chest, and he wore it in high school, when he played overseas, and when he was drafted by the Hornets. LaMelo thought life was good. He was going off, but he couldn't help but keep posting on Instagram about the number he really wanted, which he had wished for on his birthday. LaMelo began getting questioned during interviews about why he cared so much about his jersey number after it came out that he was battling to have it changed every day. "I'm not meant to wear number 2 ever again in my life because it makes everything seem unreal. It's like, I don't know who this is, I don't know who number 2 is, I know my brother and that's it." LaMelo despised the fact that he wore number 2. In order to show everyone that he was the real number 1, before he could even wear the number 1 on his back, LaMelo spent a check on chains bearing the number 1. So whenever cameras caught him, they would all know how desperately he wanted to wear the number. However, it wasn't until one last interview that the Hornets realized that they needed to take action. "In fact, whenever I'm number 2, I always feel like I'm second to none." So in the free agent period, LaMelo was hyped at his antics actually worked. So it didn't take long for him to reveal the surprise on Instagram, and at Media Day, he looked happier than ever before. Number 1 in his back, in a full effect, and once he put it on, he's been balling out ever since. But at least he chose his number. Another player was bullied into it, how Zach LaVine got his jersey number was. When Malik Monk's contract was up, they let him go side with another team just so the number 1 became available. No matter what he's doing, you can always see him wearing the number 8 while playing, just like the player he looked up to growing up who wore the number 8, Kobe Bryant. As Zach explained, he only partially wears his idol's number to ensure that anyone who watches him play is also remembering Kobe. This is the main reason Zach wears the number 8. Since Zach's dad used to be an athlete who wore the number 14, he wanted to wear a number that would honor the guy who means the most to him, his father. Because who better to express love to than the one who pushes Zach through extreme workouts and helped him enter the league in the first place? It was exactly what Zach wanted, but he couldn't have it since his buddy Niko Pekovic terrified him to death. When I entered the NBA, Pekovic had number 14 because I didn't feel like asking for that number because he was a large guy. I instead went back to number 8. Try to have the game banned, as LeBron James did with the mystery of LeBron's stats, before LeBron stepped foot on an NBA court or even graduated. Fans all over the world already started calling him the chosen one to become the next, because he wasn't the typical teenager and looked like a grown man competing against kids. He became one of the greatest high school basketball players in history. LeBron chose to wear the number 23 in honor of the great Michael Jordan, who was present, and ironically, Jordan. LeBron initially had no qualms about imitating his idol, so when the Cavaliers selected him in the first round, of course, he grabbed the number 23. Over time, however, something didn't feel quite right, and one night after a game, he made the shocking declaration, "I think I'm going to change my number next year. I think no guy in the NBA should ever wear a 23. LeBron, however, was the only one who paid attention, and the following season, when he switched teams to the Heat, he decided to wear the number 6. At first, LeBron claimed he did so because it was the same as the one he wore during the Olympics. Then he claimed that he picked the number 6 to represent another of his heroes, Julius Erving. But we all know how LeBron always works out. And now in 2022, on the Lakers, magically the story of why he wears 6 is completely different. It's a multiple reason, including the fact that my first son was born on October 6th, the 6th day of October, and my youngest son was born on June 14th, the 6th month of the year. So, wow. LeBron, thank you very much. Subscribe to our channel to get our videos regularly, and don't forget to click the bell icon to never miss an update. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, peace.